Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into a real masterclass on digital transformation, specifically tailored for the industrial equipment sector. We are going to unpack exactly how air compressor manufacturers and service providers can figure out the right strategy to get their hands on an IoT platform, apply it to actually generate real business value, and most importantly, how to dodge some massive financial pitfalls along the way. We'll be talking about one specific mistake that literally cost a company 50 million RMB. So if you're operating in the industrial service space, grab a notebook because this explainer is absolutely for you. So let's just cut right to the chase and challenge a huge misconception right out of the gate. Are you building an IoT platform that absolutely no one is going to use? Look, we all know the trend of digitalization is totally undeniable. Big data is transforming operational efficiency and energy management for sure. But here's the thing. When executives first step into the industrial IoT space, they almost always make a catastrophic misjudgment right at the starting line, and they end up building something that's basically just destined to gather digital dust.
Here is our roadmap for this explainer. 1. Digitalization. Who is the user? 2. Avoid the selling data pitfall. 3. Data's core, transparency and empowerment. 4. How to acquire an IoT platform. And 5. Independent versus third party. Let's get into it.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1. Digitalization. Who is the user? There is a fundamental disconnect happening in our industry right now. Service providers have this mistaken belief that they can sell data capabilities to equipment owners. The reality? Owners just want a working machine. Providers are out there thinking, hey, I'll slap a data collector on the compressor, push all that data to the cloud, and sell a remote monitoring subscription to the owner. But the market reality is a whole different ballgame. In a mature market, equipment maintenance is largely outsourced. Owners have completely shifted from managing the equipment itself to managing their service suppliers. They want results, not a new hobby. Think about the day-to-day life of an end user today. Like 25 years ago, a factory probably had a dedicated guy to repair their own compressors. Today, that same staff member is totally overloaded. They're managing the supply chain for air compressors, water pumps, fans, chillers, the whole shebang. It is literally impossible for them to be an expert in the technical data of all those wildly different machines. When something breaks down, they don't want to sit there analyzing a raw data dashboard. No way. They just want to pick up the phone, call the service provider, and say, fix it. Which brings us to Section 2. Avoid the selling data pitfall. This brings up a really painful reality for a lot of executives. Trying to charge your clients for raw data, it's a proven dead end. And I mean genuinely proven, whether you're looking at domestic brands or massive foreign manufacturing giants. If you look across the Chinese market, for example, not a single major brand has pulled off a viable business model where the end user pays an annual subscription strictly for data monitoring. It just doesn't happen because the end users simply do not need it. Moving right along to Sections 3, Data's core, transparency and empowerment. So if the equipment owner isn't the primary user of all this data, we need a complete mindset shift about what digitalization is actually for. Who is the data for? Well, it's for the service provider. It's for you. As the quote goes, the underlying logic of digitalization is actually transparency. That is the psychological shift right there. IoT is essentially a mirror. It makes the invisible visible. The more specialized your service gets, especially as you move from basic maintenance into complex energy management, the more you absolutely need objective, quantified data to prove your results. Without it, you're just guessing based on feelings, and frankly, that's just not professional enough anymore. Transparency is basically an operational superpower for genuinely excellent service providers. It's where business logic meets human nature. If your service is truly top tier, you are going to love IoT because it proves to your clients completely transparently that you're better than the competition. You get to say, I have what others don't, and I'm stronger where they're weak. But okay, let's say your service is still improving. That transparency can be kind of scary, right? Well, smart leaders use it internally first. They use the data as a ruthless roadmap to expose their own flaws, level up their team skills, and then, once they've nailed it, they take it to the client. The massive takeaway here is that you've got to use IoT to elevate your own team. Stop thinking of digitalization as a standalone product that you put in a little box and sell. It is a fundamental tool. It's the engine you need to guarantee the quality of the service you are already contracted to provide. Okay, Section 4, how to acquire an IoT platform. So you know you need this tool, but how do you actually get the right platform without sinking the ship? Building a viable platform means you have to conquer two totally different dimensions. First, data production.
This is the hard technical architecture, the data acquisition, the hardware, the transmission, the cloud storage. But step 2 is where the magic happens: data application. This relies entirely on domain experts who actually understand air compressors and business models to turn that raw data into real business value. You absolutely cannot succeed without both. Understanding that dual requirement basically leaves you with 3 strategic paths. First, you could build it entirely in-house. Sure, you get maximum control and IP ownership, but the difficulty and the costs are absolutely massive. Second, you could just outsource the whole thing. It controls costs, but it can create some serious data security risks if you pick the wrong vendor. Or third, you can go with third-party collaboration, building on an existing neutral platform that already has that deep domain expertise baked right in. Let's dig into that final choice in Section 5, independent versus third-party. 50 million RMB. Just take a second and let that number sink in. That staggering figure is the terrifying real-world cost of trying to build everything from scratch. Despite spending a decade and an absolute fortune, their proprietary platform turned into a massive sunk cost. Why? Because human nature dictates that rivals are never going to use a competitor's system. Never. No matter how good it is. There's a real documented case of a huge air compressor manufacturer in Guangdong that spent 10 years, hired dozens of developers, and poured around 50 million RMB into building their own incredible IoT platform. They got great security, great IP, but the platform can only ever serve their own company. It's not neutral. Even if they gave it away to competitors for free, the competitors would refuse to use it out of fear. So the ceiling for their return on investment is just incredibly low. This is exactly why partnering with a neutral, specialized third party is a total game changer. You get all the cross-industry insights, and you get to focus 100% of your energy on delivering better service. When you team up with an independent player, someone who actually gets the technical side and the domain expertise, you're getting a platform that reflects the best practices of the entire market. If you develop in-house, you are trapped in your own echo chamber. But a third-party platform consolidates brilliant feature requests from all its top-tier clients. It means the platform evolves faster and smarter than you could ever pull off on your own.
And here's another thing. Technology moves fast. A living, third-party platform continuously evolves. It keeps you from getting stuck with some outdated, stagnant in-house system while the rest of the world moves into the AI era. 10 years ago, it was all about big data. Today, we're talking AI-driven smart agents and advanced vibration spectrum analysis. An expert partner is going to continuously iterate to keep pace with those market realities. Let the software professionals handle the code so your team can focus on what they actually do best: servicing industrial equipment.
There's an old saying, shared joy is better than solo joy, and it perfectly applies here. A shared, neutral ecosystem that's constantly gathering feedback from top industry players is always going to outpace an isolated proprietary one. It's all about collective intelligence. By embracing a collaborative tool, you elevate the entire standard of your business without carrying the massive burden of becoming a software developer yourself.
So, I want to leave you with a question to chew on as you evaluate your own digital strategy. Are your current digital tools exposing your flaws, or are they proving your excellence? Remember, digitization isn't just about hoarding data to sell it. It's about fundamentally transforming what your service team is capable of. I highly encourage you to take a hard look at your current systems and ask yourself, who are we really building this for? Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.